Hey guys, welcome to episode number 2 of my series Metal Tone in the Mix. In this episode, we're going to talk about the best type of guitar for recording your metal tracks, and specifically for getting a good tone with a real amp in the full mix. We're not using amp sims for this. And what you're going to learn in this video may surprise you. Alright, so just a quick recap before we get started here. The first episode of Metal Tone in the Mix, we talked about everything you need to record your guitar, from your amp, all the stuff that goes with it, the pedals, to the hardware and software that you need to record. Now, you might think I'm gonna go through a bunch of different types of guitars you can use for metal. I'm not gonna do that. And again, what I have to say in this video may surprise you, but I think it's gonna bring you some relief at the same time if you're in a particular circumstance. Most of us metal guitar players, one of the first things we look at when we're playing metal music, when we're recording it, is the type of pickups. And of course, we naturally gravitate towards active pickups. You'll notice in a lot of my videos, if you've been following me for any amount of time, thank you by the way, I'm playing ESP guitars quite a bit with active EMG pickups. That's because those pickups, as you guys know, have a high output, so you get more sustain out of them and you just get a little bit more punchy distortion sound out of them. However, you may notice in this video here, and the one I did before this, and every other video you see in this specific series that I'm recording for you guys, I'm using a guitar with passive pickups. But not only are they passive pickups, they're actually the stock pickups. Now, stock pickups are typically known not to be the greatest pickups, and I think most people might agree with that. Hence why so many people change out their stock pickups at some point, or they just upgrade to another guitar with better pickups. But I chose to use a guitar with stock passive pickups for this series for a reason. And again, many of you who have been following me for quite some time, you've also seen this guitar in plenty of videos as well. This is my Ibanez Prestige RG1570. Now, this is probably like a mid to high grade guitar. It's one of those guitars in that $1,000, probably like $900 to $1,200 range when it was new. But we have got a guitar here again with stock pickups. These are the V7, S1, and V8 pickups. The thing about these pickups, they're not really that hot at all. Yeah, not too hot. Now, the guitar I've used on countless videos, the one I was talking about earlier, is my LTD M1000 Deluxe. This guitar has active EMG pickups. I think they're EMG 81s, 83s, something like that. These pickups are a lot hotter. Ow. Now, you might be asking me, well, Jason, dude, you have a guitar with active EMGs. Why are you using the guitar with passive stock pickups for this series? I'll tell you why in a second. But first, I want you to hear what these guitars sound like, and then I'm going to tell you why I'm using this Ibanez instead of my LTD. Here's the Ibanez just by itself. I'm also going to let you hear these in the full mix too, but I want you to hear them by themselves first. Here's the Ibanez RG with stock passive pickups. Now, here's the LTD M1000 Deluxe with the active EMGs, which these are like premium metal pickups. So here's what this guitar sounds like. Now, before we talk about these, I want you to hear both guitars in the full mix. The Ibanez with stock passive pickups. The LTD with active EMG pickups. Now, I'm sure there are going to be a lot of comments, and I welcome these comments on what tone sounded best. And a lot of you are probably going to gravitate towards the LTD M1000 Deluxe, the guitar with the active pickups, because those pickups are high output. They're made for recording metal music or playing metal music in general. The reason why I use a guitar with stock passive pickups, well, there's two reasons actually. For one, it gives me a very distinct tone. The tone I get out of that guitar is like none other. Whereas the tone you're going to get out of something with the same active pickups that every other metal band uses, well, that tone's going to be very similar to every other tone that everybody else is using. To an extent, there's a little caveat to that too. But that's the first reason why I wanted to use the Ibanez here with the stock pickups, the stock passive pickups, for this video series, just to show you that it's okay to use something that's not metal or not built for metal and still get a good metal tone out of it, and one that doesn't sound like everything else out there. It sounds very distinct and it can hold its own weight. The second reason why I use this guitar with passive stock pickups instead of my EMG active pickups is to prove to you that if that's all you have right now, or if that's all you can afford, just a guitar that has the stock pickups, that's okay. Use what you have. This is really the key to this video right here. I don't want your limitations in gear to hold you back from progressing in your music and recording and doing what you need to do to get music out there, to get it down. Now, never mind that the tone is also coming from your amp, and in this case, we're using a live tube amp. So this specific amp I'm using, the EVH 5153, I can plug just about any guitar into that. I can plug the cheapest guitar into that amp and I'm still going to get a pretty cool tone out of it. The other thing, and this is the little caveat piece here that I mentioned a few seconds ago, much of your tone, guys, much of your tone is right here. It's in your hands. It's the way you play. It's the passion and the feeling that you put into your playing. It's those little nuances that you have with your own style as you develop your own style. And I learned that very valuable lesson from really a pristine sound engineer many years ago. And we were talking about this. We're talking about tone. He's like, Jason, dude, you know, you can play whatever guitar you want to on stage and it's going to sound like Jason Stallworth because the tone is right here. Yeah, the amp has a lot to do with it. Yeah, the guitar and the pickups and all that stuff matters, but only to a certain extent. Your tone is your tone, if you know what I mean. It's coming from your hands. It's coming from the way you play your guitar. Now, I'm not saying you should go out and buy the cheapest guitar possible. That's not what I'm saying. But once you get up to a certain grade of guitars, like this Ibanez, for example, I mean, yeah, it's got passive pickups in it and they're stock pickups, but you can still get a really good tone, even from metal, from that guitar. Or if you're playing any other brand guitar, it may just have stock pickups and they may be passive or whatever. Or you may play a guitar that has active pickups in it, but maybe they're stock pickups. They're not the greatest in the world. Don't stress out so much about what guitar you can afford or what guitar you have or what guitar you don't have. And on that note, no pun intended, don't obsess so much over music equipment and gear. Yes, there's some foundational components that you need, and I'm giving you all those in this series here. Well, I'm not giving it to you, but I'm telling you all the stuff that you need. If you didn't see the first video yet, go back and watch that one. I tell you everything you need, you know, for recording your guitars, especially if you have a home studio. Now, I hope this helps clear things up a little bit. I really do, because I know a lot of you do sometimes stress over the type of guitar that you think you need to record metal, and I'm telling you, right now, just use what you have. There's always going to be better and bigger and whatever. It's always going to be like that. I mean, that's just kind of how we're wired in society. It's like, well, I have this, but now I need this up here. And then once you get that up there, then you need the next level up, and it just never ends. Don't obsess so much over that. It's really not as important as you might think it is. Start out just by using what you have and see what kind of metal tones you can get from that. And if it's not the ideal metal guitar with the ideal pickups, that's okay, because guess what? You're gonna bring out a tone that doesn't sound like everything else out there right now. So be daring, be adventurous. Even if you can afford a better guitar, but you have something that maybe is not quite cut out for metal, so to speak, hey, try it anyway. See what kind of new sounds you can bring to the world of metal music. So guys, don't forget, I've got a complete tutorial on recording and mixing metal guitars with a real amp, of course. You can watch that up here somewhere. I'll put a link in the description of this YouTube video. Also, check out the description, all the links in there. I've got a ton of good stuff in the description of my YouTube video for you to check out. You'll spend some time there, so definitely check that out. And again, leave me any comments about this video. I always appreciate the feedback and the conversations that happen in there. Guys, thank you for watching my video and all the support you give me. Until the next one, keep it metal.